Welcome to Brand Lover, honest, real, and lively conversations for flourishing entrepreneurs and budding business owners on a mission to cultivate a heartfelt brand that connects with their purpose-driven mission. My hope is that you walk away feeling inspired and refreshed with a weekly takeaway in your back pocket that you can apply to your life or business. Hello, and welcome to my first solo podcast episode for 2023. I have had a lovely break, and I hope you have too, but I'm just feeling refreshed and really excited to jump on into this brand new year. And I'm excited for what's to come for the podcast as well. So I have got some amazing interviews lined up, which I can't wait to share with you. Obviously, I'm not going to bombard you with them now, but I have got lots of, really interesting topics locked in. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss an episode. And something that I really realized upon reflection of my year was that I have been missing writing blogs. So if you haven't checked out my blog, you can go to rachelwriter.com, and there are a whole bunch of amazing resources hidden in that blog that I didn't admittedly used to do all that regularly or consistently, but I really did love it when I had something to share. I really do love the action of sitting down and writing. So that's something else that you can look forward to seeing a little bit more of this year. So I might not be releasing a podcast episode every single week, but I certainly will be sending out something of value, whether it's a podcast episode or a blog or something that you can use in your business or your branding, something fun maybe. I'm just going to have so much fun with you this year, and I'm talking about more specifically things to do with my email family. Obviously, if you're not signed up to my email list, I can't send you anything. So if you aren't subscribed to my email family and you would like to sign up for that, I'll put a link in the show notes, or you can head over to my website. But today's episode is titled, Should I DIY My Brand? Because we are living in a day and age where it is super easy to start a business and start an online business with little to no capital. And what that means is it doesn't require very much of a financial investment. So the process of establishing a business, the traditional process, has been somewhat lost. And unfortunately, what this means is that a lot of businesses are coming to market with not much understanding about branding or marketing, and it's having an impact on their impact. And I've had actually a couple of conversations lately, one of which was with a beautiful lady who has a brand already. She's starting a new brand. And the question was basically that: should I DIY my brand? Is it a good idea? There's budget constraints to think of, and there's also, a little bit of a protection element, because there's always this sort of hidden fear deep down inside of whether or not it's actually going to work. Is this thing going to fly? What am I going to look like to my family members if it fails? And I've invested all this money into something that doesn't actually work out. But first of all, before I sort of share the advice with you that I shared with her, and quite honestly, a couple of other ladies that I've had the honor of chatting with lately, some of which who have been in business for a few years and are sort of suffering from this lack of clarity and frustration that their business isn't growing as fast as they wanted to, or they're not making sales like they had hoped to. But first of all, if you are pondering this yourself, should I DIY my brand or should I rebrand, or what's missing when it comes to, why isn't my marketing clicking? First of all, I would like to ask you the question: what's actually holding you back from investing in your brand, especially if you know the impact that it has? Because as a consumer, how you are attracted to new products and services is usually that you're drawn in by particular things, which I won't get into now because there's so many of them. But most people would say, that they don't invest in their brand because they don't have the time or they don't have the money. But if you knew investing in your brand would, let's say, 10x your revenue and guarantee a profitable start to your business, would you do it? The thing that holds most people back from investing in their brand is fear. It's self-doubt. It's that uncertainty that we were talking about before. It's that the unknown and the really wanting to protect themselves as much as possible to save face. Whereas, alternatively, if you do invest in your brand, you are much more likely to have a successful business. So let's rewind a little bit and chat about branding, because what people actually mean when they ask the question, should I DIY my brand, is usually they're referring to their visual brand assets, like designing their own logo or choosing their own brand colors or choosing their own fonts, because these are the things that are outwardly visible and a way that we communicate our brands with our audience. But what they don't realize is that they're missing an entire process that actually steps them towards the answers to the questions and these things that they're seeking answers to. So the branding process actually fills in the gaps and it gives you the answers to all of these questions that you're seeking. It will result in unsurmountable clarity, which results in confidence, a very attractive quality to have when you are marketing. And only once this is complete do you have the answers to what your visual brand should be. So all of these things sort of bubble to the surface by doing all this deeper work and answering all of these questions in a methodical way. It brings the bubbles to the surface. Or I'm making some weird kind of hand gestures if you're watching on YouTube. That's bizarre. But revisiting the self-doubt that I was talking about earlier, is let's just pause for a minute and ask the question, what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Would you just jump in and invest in a brand stylist or a brand strategist to work with you to really dig out all of those branding mysteries so that you know that you are coming to the marketplace with a beautifully packaged offer that you know is right for a certain audience that's going to sell like hotcakes? Because that is the difference. So here now was my advice that I shared with these ladies who I spoke to about DIY branding. Caveating this with, if you are financially able to, please do invest in your brand as soon as possible before you do anything else in your business, particularly marketing your business. It is honestly, in the words of Molly Meldrum, do yourself a favor. It literally takes half a second for somebody to form an opinion about a product or a service simply based on their first impression, whether that's the website, the storefront, the product on a shelf at Coles or in a supermarket or in a store or at a market stall. In this day and age, your brand needs to demand attention, particularly with all of these new businesses just coming and flooding the market. Like, it's not saturated anymore, it's flooded. Your brand has a direct impact on the effectiveness of your marketing. So the first point that I shared was to know your brand intimately before expressing it visually. How this is like, because this is the question, isn't it? Like, how do you get to know your brand intimately? How do you know the questions to ask yourself, even to get to know your brand intimately? And I will share more on that in a minute, so hold tight. Point number 2 was that please don't assume to know what to do when it comes to branding or what branding involves. No successful brand has ignored the initial branding phase. Even if they have initially, but then come back to rebrand or to actually take a minute and go through this branding process. So think about it for a second. Like Coca-Cola doesn't just release a new product on a whim with a random package and like some name that they just decided, that some random person decided, and no plan. So why would you, if you care about your business, if you want to have an impact, if you want it to be successful, there is absolutely no shame in asking for help with something that is outside your area of expertise. There's this myth in small business, and I don't know if it's particularly in female-founded businesses, because we are just so used to doing everything. We just like to think that we can do everything on our own. But honestly, you just can't. Like, if you want to have this impact, if you want to, allow room and space for you to do what you do and why you started the business in the first place, doing what you love or making the products, you didn't start a business to have this massive marketing headache. What I'm trying to say is that if you do invest in some kind of help, then this is going to have a massive impact on your business growth. Point number 3 was that sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. So working with someone to uncover the mysteries of your brand, somebody that's not, truly intimately connected to it, to your business, it's so beneficial because of that outsider's perspective. So, when you are so close to something, you can taste it, but you just can't quite get there. Enlisting somebody outside who can actually help you is priceless. So number 4, a professional looking brand will be much more attractive to your prospective buyers because it evokes trust. When people trust you, when they trust that you will deliver your promise, they will purchase from you. When you invest in your brand, it shows you believe in it, and thus your customers will too. So the final and most important point I have to share is that once you have stepped through this mystery branding process, you will come out the other side with just this enormous clarity, like a massive light bulb's gone off in your head. And this clarity is a goldmine for your marketing. So from then on, everything you say, do, and communicate will be so aligned with your brand. And this is the key to successful, impactful marketing. So when talking about point 1, when I said, how do you know the questions to even ask to step yourself through this branding process? If you are wanting to head down the DIY route, I still recommend enlisting some help. And this is exactly why I created my signature brand foundation program, Brand Alchemy, to give small business owners this clarity and confidence in their brand so that they can market their products and services with ease, attracting only their most aligned clients and customers, which is very exciting because I'm going to be running a live round, the first one for the year. Enrollments are going to be opening on Wednesday, the 8th of February, and we are going to be stepping through the exact same branding process that I use with my one-on-one clients together as a group from the 20th of February for 6 weeks. So it's basically going through my branding process in a group setting with my support. It is a live program, and it's that piece of the puzzle that you've been missing. So if you'd like to learn more about branding and how you can position your brand for success this year, come along to one of 2 free live masterclasses that I'm going to be hosting to help you find the confidence that you're seeking. So particularly if you're new to business or you're in that first couple of years where everything just feels a bit foggy and you're doing all the things and you're wearing all the hats in your business, and I totally understand that budgets are stretched. So I would love to sort of offer you this free, rare insight into branding and how it works. So if you are new to business, the sooner you work on your brand, the sooner your marketing will start to sort of chug along more effectively, and you will feel more confident and comfortable with all that comes along with that. So during these 2 sessions to choose from, you'll be immersed in the following things. I'm going to be talking about branding myths, and I'm going to be busting them. So I'm going to bust a myth that your brand is your logo, your colors, and your fonts. I will teach you why it's so much more than that and how it directly influences the success of your business. I'm going to share 3 types of brands that are set to skyrocket in 2023. So based on the past few years that I've been keeping my finger on the pulse, there has been a significant shift in digital marketing. If you've been in business for any of these years, then you will know what I'm talking about. It is driven by that flooding of the marketplace of online businesses. So you learn the 3 types of brands that are set to skyrocket in 2023 and how you can apply these strategies to your own brand. I'm also going to be sharing my reliable brand building framework that I've been talking about. So you can discover the steps that I have used to my own business and my own brand, and how you can replicate them to achieve epic branding results in your own business. So if you like the sound of that and you'd like to come along, I would love to see you there. Head to rachelwriter.com/brand masterclass, or tap the link in the show notes to register. This will also then put you into my email family, and you will receive all of the goodness that I have in store for my email family this year that I was talking about at the start of the podcast. So there are 2 times available for these masterclasses. One is Monday, the 6th of February, and also Wednesday, the 8th of February, which is going to be so fun because that is the day that enrollments are opening for Brand Alchemy, as I mentioned. So I'm excited to see you there. If you have any questions about this episode at all, please come along and have a chat with me. Either reply to one of my emails if you receive my emails, or come on to Instagram, RachelWriter_brand mentor, and let me know that you're there. And I'd love to have a chat with you. I nerd out over everything branding, so I'd love to hear about your business or your business plans. And yeah, anything that you want to ask me about branding, I am your lady. So excited to be back for this year, and I'm sure that I will see you at one of these amazing masterclasses. So I'll chat with you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this week's episode of Brand Lover, take a screenshot of wherever you're listening and share your biggest takeaway on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to tag me. I'd love to give you a shout out and thank you personally. Also, feel free to subscribe and leave a review to help the Brand Lover podcast reach more heart-aligned entrepreneurs just like yourself. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week.